minute. So, all right, guys, welcome. Welcome to Bigfoot Explorer. Hi, guys. Do we have a good live feed there tonight? Can we get some thumbs up there in the chat? It says we're live. Let's see. Hi, Scott and Christy. Good feed. Okay, great. Welcome, guys. It's a Bigfoot Explorer, and
Christy Sci-Fi.
that's right. And we are here live streaming. Who do we have in there? We have Oak. We got
Ann. What's up, Ann? We got
Max Powers, Flower Child Buds.
We got John. What's up, John? How you doing?
Doug.
We got John.
Yep.
John boy.
I hope that's our John.
We got Pappy Two Bears. We got Cryptic Quinn. What's up, Cryptic Quinn?
Thanks for the feedback too.
We got LA Swamp.
Yeah, that's Carl.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, guys. I know the live stream says that we have Bo McGee, Mississippi Encounter Story. Well, guess what? Bo McGee is like maybe 10 minutes from Kerry Arnold's encounter site in Collins, Mississippi. And he's got a strange internet service. C Spire does all of that for him. And they've been working on towers. So he's got no Wi-Fi. He's had no Wi-Fi, no data streaming. So guess what, though? We have a surprise.
Yes, we do.
All the way from the giant Great Lakes, the Great North. It is Bigfoot, Michigan. Rob is going to be in here with us tonight. Welcome, Rob. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me today.
Yes. Hey, thanks for kind of doing this last minute. I mean, I know you and I had talked, and I know we wanted to get it done and all, but I know we both are busy, constantly busy, and things just kind of worked out here tonight at the last second. So we appreciate you being on here tonight. So we got Bigfoot, Michigan Rob in the Bigfoot Explorer house. And we got this for you, Rob. It's Wine Wednesday for my good friend, Rob. This is, my friend, this is a local wine from Landry's Vineyards. Okay. It's a Blackberry Merlot. Go ahead and read the back like I always do. Landry Vineyards is a family-owned and operated Louisiana winery. This Blackberry Merlot blend brings together the Louisiana tradition and fruit-forward character of the blackberry, while the Merlot contributes to complementing with a subtle hint of spice and wood. Wood character, all such semi-sweet wine. So we're what?
It's got wood in it. It might get splintered.
I like that wood.
Wood. Yeah, that's what it says. Wait, look. Hint of spice and wood.
He might get splinters.
You never know.
Oh no.
So we're gonna go ahead and pour this. I wish you had some. Hey, later in our email, I'm gonna get your address and I'm gonna send you some. Do you drink wine?
Funny. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's funny because with the short notice, I was gonna go back to work and grab a bottle, and then we were gonna drink it down. So I gotta settle for. So I gotta settle for this. Oh, Pure Leaf.
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking tea.
I just got a basic golden beer here.
That'll work. Hey, cheers, my friend.
With my I got this glass in Germany about 15 years ago.
I like it. Well, yeah. So we got that done. It's very good.
You can have it. I like my tea.
All right. Sci-fi is doing the True Leaf tea. So, Bigfoot Rob, I think most of the people know why we are here. You had sent me your encounter a while back, and to be honest, I kind of listened to it sparingly here and there, and never really listened through the whole thing like I wanted to. And we actually had some good phone calls that I really enjoyed with you, and I thank you for that. So I am going to give you the floor, man, and go ahead and start telling us about your encounter, when it happened. You can do
Sure.
it in any format that you want.
Yeah.
What led you to go out there? Just have at it, buddy.
I'll have at it. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Christine.
You're welcome, Rob.
Hey, for all the people out there listening or whatever, I'll give you some background. It's funny because throughout when I was a little kid, I was always intrigued by monsters, you know. And in fact, my first um, recollection when I got into it, my dad, he's passed away now, but the first spooky movie I watched, I believe it was Abbott and Costello, and it was like werewolf meets Frankenstein, right? Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, right? And of course, there's an Abbott Costello movie, but still, I was like 5 or 6 years old. So ever since then, you know, I was like always into that, you know, monsters. And I saw the Patty video as the road goes on, and Loch Ness Monster, and I always watched like Bigfoot stuff. Did I believe in Bigfoot? Well, who knows? I don't know. I was a kid, and life goes on, and you start doing life things, you know. So, with that being said, last year in June, I took a trip to Cadillac, Michigan. Me and my girlfriend Cindy, and we went out fishing. You know, I took her on a trip, do some fishing. She never fished before, and it's something to do. You know, hang out, go to the restaurant, get a couple of bars and shops, and took her out. Um,
Hey,
yeah,
do you mind saying where this was? Like near a
yeah,
city?
I'm about to do that. This is in like Wexford, Michigan, Cadillac, Michigan. In fact, I've got something to tell you as far as the people want to Google it. It's kind of cool because I learned this from you actually, which I'll get in that later. Um, Cadillac, Michigan, and so I took this fishing boat. We went down on Lake Cadillac. It's in northwest Michigan, about 50 miles northwest of Holton Lake. And so we ended up going down to Lake Cadillac is the city of Cadillac's a township surrounded by the Manistee National Forest. So it's a huge forest. And what happened was I ended up taking from Lake Cadillac, we went down to Lake Mitchell, which you go through like a canal and you go to Lake Mitchell. Because Lake Cadillac is kind of built up, and Lake Mitchell, although it has homes and so on, it still has it's less built up, although it's got homes, but not as abundant as Cadillac. And I also then we went down to a bay in Lake Mitchell, which is in the southwest corner, which is like totally very all it is woods at the time. So I'm about 180 at this time feet from shore, and I'm setting up Cindy's lures and bait, and I'm setting up mine. And so I'm sitting on the left, she's on the right, and she had said heard a couple of splashes. You guys hear me? I can't hear you guys. Okay, I can't hear you.
I actually muted us so that
Oh,
we don't bleed over you until you're finished your story.
okay, sounds good.
Wait, Rob, I want to say hello to somebody. Hi, Yank. What you doing, Yank?
What's up, Yank? All right.
All right.
You're doing, buddy.
All right, cool. So she heard a couple splashes, you know, off to the side of the section of the boat where she's sitting. Say, hey, Rob, there's some splashes out here. And I'm like, well, cool. There's some fish jumping or whatever. So it was pretty cool. And then blah, blah, blah. And then like a couple minutes later, she had said that she's seen a rock being thrown towards the boat. I didn't see it. It hit the water. I did hear a splash, and I looked, and she goes, I think there's someone throwing rocks at us. I look to the shoreline, don't see anything. Now my boat is drifting in. I'm maybe 100 feet from shore, and I'm getting closer. I'm looking. I don't see anything. So now I'm back preoccupied with baiting my rig for my fishing pole. And she says, Rob, there's someone throwing rocks at the boat. And at this time, I'm like, really? And I look again, I see nothing. So I kind of like blew her off, so to speak. So now I'm sitting, and no kidding, about a minute or so after she had said this to me, I kind of look up in the air and I see an actual something coming down from the sky. I'm saying, what the hell is that? A dead bird falling or whatever? And it hits like 12 feet from the boat. It's actually a rock. Wow. And I look, and now I look at her. I said, wow. And she's like looking towards shoreline, like she's like had nice suntan. And she looked like white. I'm like, what? And I look at shore, and uh, you know, I see this, creature, standing offshore.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was like tall, huge, man. And I'm like looking, and I look at her, and I'm enthralled on this thing. And then it's standing straight up, right? This thing's, it's probably 8, 9, 10 feet tall. I don't know. But I do know this. He was standing with his arms to its side, and he kind of lifted them like an airplane, right? And that wingspan had to be 10 feet. Now, I'm looking at this thing, and like all this information is like running through my mind. What am I looking at? And it opens his mouth, right? And it lets out this scream, screech, grunt, all at like the same time, all in unison, directed toward me and Cindy on the boat. Now, the thing that, and at the time, it's like, and we're in a calm bay, and there is a wake, like waves are starting to rush toward the boat, and it is, we're both standing up. It hits the side of the boat. Cindy falls off the back of the boat, and I'm still perplexed, stunned, looking at this thing. And I hear a scream. I see her little hands come up on the back of the boat, and I'm like, oh, I snap out of it. I grab her, I turn, I grab her, I pick her up, lift her out, put her in the boat. I look towards shoreline. This thing's gone. Now, that's anyway. So here's the thing, though. When I tell you that I saw it, when it was standing ashore and it lifted its arms, its face looked like a person. No offense to anybody watching, with a child or older person with Down syndrome, right? Face was gray. This thing was like reddish brown. When he lifted his arms, it had shaggy locks coming down, and it looked kind of like a Down syndrome person, as I said. And then, but when it opened his mouth, man, the facial contour, the features turned, and I don't think Sasquatch is a demon, but it looked like a demon. And it had like some teeth coming down, like I won't call them fangs, but they're longer than humans. and two smaller scissors down here. But the face was, and when he screamed, he was screaming that scream guttural sound at us. Just when his face turned and the the, the wake propelled at us, and so anyway, I gather her up, or I get her in a boat. I look, he's gone. Now I'm scared out of my mind because now I don't see this thing, and and he's gone. I'm getting scared because I think maybe this thing is swimming in the water toward us. Because at this time I was like 80 feet ashore when I actually seen the face. That's how close we drifted in. And man, I'm scared. She goes, "Let's get the hell out of here." I'm like, I'm like, oh, like this, shaking, shaking. She's shaking, and it's in the summertime. It's like 80 degrees, and it's like, what did we just see? And I take this boat and I turn it around and I just head the heck out of there, And we get back to we dock the boat, and I had a blanket on her, for God's sake. She was so cold. She was literally cold. I mean, I wasn't, but she. So anyway, then we get out, and so we found the closest restaurant / bar and did a couple shots, and then we settled in, and then we started discussing what the heck we saw, And that's really the encounter. It is, all of like 2 minutes or whatever. But let me tell you something. I'll never forget it.
So you already have 80 feet away. Now, let me ask you this. I'm sure. No, I usually ask this to Carrie too. You've had a lot of time to relive it and kind of reflect on it. Did you notice when it was throwing rocks? It sounds like you said it threw what, 3 or 4 rocks in the course of the rock?
I never seen him throw the rock, but I did see my girlfriend at the time had said there was at least 2 splashes.
Yeah. Now
she had mentioned someone's throwing rocks. I don't see anything.
Now you said, did she look up? She thought it was a bird that was falling out of the sky, but
no, that was me because she had said She said there was a couple rocks thrown at her, and then I said, "What It's something falling from the sky. I don't know." And then now it just so happens like 40 seconds later, I just look. I'm happy to look. I'm just doing my lure on my fishing pole, and I just happen to look, and I see a rock falling from the sky, hit the ground. She's looking petrified. I look to shore. That's when I see it. I never seen him physically throw it, but he was.
What's intriguing about that is, instead of being forceful and the rock having a short arc or like a beam, it went high.
Yeah, like a lob.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a baseball where you just throw it.
Yeah.
It was like a toss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 80 feet, that was probably nothing for him to do it.
Oh, yeah,
do you remember about how close it was to the boat? Did you hear the splashes real good and all?
Well, I seen the rock fall to my boat, and when it splashed, the water came up 6-7 inches perhaps. And I'm just going to guess at that because that was the last thing I remember, really.
Right.
But I will say this, that you figure a baseball, first and second base in baseball is 90 feet, So when she talked about the rock stone to her, we were a lot further out a little bit. When I was there, when I looked, I was 80, 90 feet, and it was more like the loft, but it hit the water hard, boom, and I look, I see this thing,
Incredible. It's an incredible. Now, was this in the morning? About what time?
It was after about 12:30. It was right around lunchtime. Because we had been fishing since we got on the water about 9 o'clock. It's not a big fishing expedition. My girlfriend, I just want to cast a few lines to show her how to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Right.
About 12 o'clock, noon, 12:30. Sunny day, not a cloud in the sky.
It had the long hair with the arms. When it put those arms up, the hair hung down.
Yeah. Droop came down. Yep,
drooping.
like a man on a horse, perhaps, but a lot longer.
Right.
Kind of.
And you never saw when it turned around and left because your girlfriend fell
off the boat,
right?
And I turned. So, like I said, I heard her hit the water, and I heard her scream. And like I said, man, it was kind of like, wow. I was like, I can explain further now. I know what happened to me, but it was like, wow. And I turned, I grabbed her, lifted her out of the boat. It's gone. I look, it's gone, and I split out of there. Now I've been talking with several different people, and they said maybe we both got hit with infrasound because that kind of deadens your senses, or it makes you in a state of
shock
or what have you.
Paralysis.
Yeah, paralysis of like a mild. I mean, I was paralyzed, but I was just like could not. My mind was running so fast. I'm trying to process what I'm looking at.
So after you process it, at that moment, let's say Sasquatch or Bigfoot hadn't even crossed your mind. What are you thinking that you're seeing?
Well, as I was saying, when we got back to shore, we just sped off and got out of there. And all these thoughts were going in my mind. I know what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm thinking Bigfoot. I get back, we dock the boat, we go to the bar, and I said, honey, we saw Bigfoot. And she's looking at me and she goes, yep, we did.
Wow. That's incredible.
And I'm going to tell you right now, ever since that day, she and I were online and doing YouTube video. I mean, doing everything, because as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that I was always into that. But the thing was, life goes on and you don't do any research or nothing. I'm not a researcher, but now, it's like they exist, man. And it's funny, because well, anyway, I guess I'll say you guys know anyway. My girlfriend died in August, 2 months after that, right?
Yeah.
And
you okay? I need a break?
Yeah, no, I'm good, buddy. I'm good. It's all released. That's why they're doing this, because you have to talk about it. That's the best therapy.
No, that
and I'm not doing this for me. It's part for me, but other people, because they need to know what's going on out there. I don't, it's the way it goes.
Right.
I know they exist. You guys don't exist. Others people don't. If people don't believe me, I don't care. But this is good for me. It's good for the people out there. And then I've been talking to different people, but I wanted to go back in June to the encounter area, but I've been so busy that I'm going to put that off, I think. And I'm going to do it because I want to, for closure.
Right.
But now I was talking to certain people, and this one guy was telling me, well, I've talked to like Duke Sullivan, I've talked to Kerry, I've talked to Bigfoot in Germany, and this guy told me not to do it. See, I have mixed, with me going on, there's mixed emotions, because Bigfoot in Germany told me I'm probably marked by Bigfoot. He says once you see one, you're always going to see it. And if you go in there scared, and he was telling me he's had like 5 heart attacks since he started doing research. He told me not to do it because, and I don't believe, I believe what he told me, but I can't be scared of that. He advises me not to do it. He thinks that he tells me on one hand that my girlfriend probably died because of the infrasound, but I don't believe that. Kerry says no. Duke says no. So, and I like this guy. I don't disparage anybody, but that's a lot to handle. So I'm telling you that, because I tell you what, I'm not going to go out there with the attitude that, hey, I'm coming to get you because you killed my girl, because he did. And I know that. I'm over that. I get it. But to hear that 4 months ago, my brain is still scrambled, as it kind of is now a little bit. The anniversary of death is August 14th.
Right.
So, it'll be a year,
Well,
But
it's
I'm
all
not.
still
I'm
fresh.
convinced that. What's that?
It's all still fresh, though. I mean, it hadn't even been a year for you, man.
Yeah, and the people, yeah, it's like it's If I'm ready to jump back out there, I fall down, I get up, I go.
Right.
Some people taking 10, 12 years before they've seen one, or 20 years before they reported one. And I'm not talking about curing no one else, just people in general. Me, I had to talk about and get it out. But I do want to go back there and, when I get some time, because just so not to see it. I don't want to see it, dude. I don't want to see it. I just want to go back to that area, though, for my own peace of mind.
Yeah, just let it end there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we talked about this, but the land that surrounds this lake, is it national forest? Is it a state park?
It's national forest. In fact, I was going to tell you, it was cool because when I saw well, I did this kind of prior to you telling me this, but when I got the software, it's funny because Lake Mitchell, there's a creek called Mitchell Creek. And at the southwest corner of the bay, there's a creek that runs through here. And I scanned it on Google, and this creek runs through the entire national forest. Unbelievable. Wow. It's a pathway for these things.
Yeah, it's a corridor.
Yes. And because if you look, you will see houses around there, but that's not uncommon for Bigfoot to be around homes. But it's the corridor, it's their backyard, it's their playing ground. So, and this creek, dude, I followed it like on Google, and it goes for 50, 100, 200 miles. It's just like phenomenal.
Yeah, does it go north, south, or is it?
If you go when you get a chance after this, whatever, go to the northwest corner of the bay, look up Mitchell Creek, and just follow it, and you'll see it go through the entire national forest.
Okay, I will do. So, the next question is, you can access that area where he was standing from, let's say, a road or some land features and hike in, or do you have to get there by boat?
Well, like you told me after I watched your show, that one show, because I wanted to go back and I didn't want to do it by boat. So I looked and I just looked on the terrain, and it looks like there's trails around that creek, around, you got the shoreline, then you have the forest, and the creek. So it looks like there's trails.
Yeah.
But you would have to get out onto the freeway or the interstate, park it, and hike in.
Yeah. Well, I can help you find a way from a highway, then to the back roads, then to the Forest Service roads, then to the trails. So, kind of whenever you get serious about wanting to line out a visit,
I am serious no matter what. Yeah, I appreciate it. I was figuring that'd be cool because I wouldn't have no clue. Because I'm a novice. I don't really hike, I mean, I mostly fish and stuff like that, and
I can get you there though. And basically what we'll do, we'll have a phone call and you can get me to the actual shoreline spot where you saw this, where the encounter sighting happened, and then from there, I'll take that point and put it in some of my software that's got all the different types of roads, the creeks, the trails, and then we'll line out what do you call that? A route to get there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you guys. Do you think, do you think like that's possible for a person like to be like marked? I don't know.
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
I mean, I can't sit here and say, oh, the possibility of being marked is null. But I really do not think that you are marked or your girlfriend was marked by what happened. I think it was circumstantial that both of y'all were completely caught off guard, in shock. Time stands still, and in those few moments, either boat went by, or finally some waves, some wake finally reach you from earlier when a boat went by. And you and I both know, you get up into age, your balance is not what it used to be. All you have to do is get into the shower and close your eyes and look up, and you'll know that you're getting old because that balance is strange. So it wouldn't take much to two middle-aged people who are severely stressed with shock after what they're seeing to be a little off guard and off balance. Now, was she on the back fantail?
But no, here's the thing was no. Well, she was at the back edge of the boat, or not. The boat was parallel, so she's in the middle of the boat, not by the front or back head. But here's the thing, though, and I got something to tell you too on this. It was like the wake. This thing creates this wake, and the wave hit it, and as such, and the boat is like 6, 7 inches out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we did hit with infrasound, so I'm sure that throws off your equilibrium. I've heard stories about that, and people have said that. So I'm thinking the impact.
Did you feel that though? Did you feel anything that made you sick?
Me personally, I couldn't move for like 6 seconds, maybe. I just couldn't. When I heard her fall in the water, and I could not turn physically to see what was going on because I was asphyxiated. I was looking at.
And this was after the scream.
This was right when I heard it hit the water. And maybe so. I was staring at the screen.
Yet, though. It hadn't screamed yet, right?
Well, when it screamed and opened his arms, it screamed, and I was at that moment and fixed on this thing, and I seen the wave rush toward the boat. It hits it. The boat kind of rocked. I heard her fall off and splash, and I'm still looking at it. And then I kind of shook my head and looked.
Right.
And then when I got her, it was gone, And I was talking to this dude, Duke Sullivan, and I told him the story. We talked on the phone. And I said, does that sound far-fetched? He says, alligators have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Crocodiles. So, because I thought maybe I was crazy, And he goes, no, if an alligator can do it, what do you think a 10-foot creature can do, And I never had known that until he had spoken to me about it, because I talked to him for a couple hours a couple months ago. It gave me a lot of information, which made me feel pretty good about this whole encounter. And he says, we definitely got hit with infrasound for sure. And I do believe that. And I don't believe, I'm with you too. I'm not marked because that to me is kind of far-fetched. Not to discredit a person telling me that, because I respect everyone's opinion. No one's expert or not, you know that. And so I'm not going to disparage anybody. But yeah, you have your own opinion. And I say, like you guys, no.
Right. Now, I know there's kind of a debate that's going around that we hear infrasound where people feel sick or they're in shock or they're completely immobilized, right? There is a newer theory that Sasquatch possibly may have some sort of ability to control the electromagnetic energy. And this could be what a lot of people describe as being infrasound. Either way, something is happening to humans when that happens. But it's an interesting take. You guys in the comments, let us know what you think about electromagnetic energy versus infrasound possibility from Sasquatch. Another question I wanted to ask you too. I know this is all still fresh. It hadn't been a year, but had you done any type of like exploring to see if other people may have had sightings in that area, or maybe check the BFRO and see if there's sightings?
good question. I have not been back, but I've been on the BFRO. And here's the funny thing too that you mentioned, Scott. Since I started doing this, right? Because I've been on armchair researcher basically. I have not been back, but in Wexford County, in this area, there's been maybe 11, 12 Sasquatch sightings. But you know what's crazy? There's double that Dogman.
Really?
I guess supposedly Michigan is the capital for Dogman. And I'm like, then that threw me for a loop. See, when I first started, I didn't even know about Dogman until I
Yeah.
started looking online. You know what I mean?
Like,
I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this thing? I got Dogman. Then you've got, the Gugway. That's what Duke Silver said it could have been.
right? Yeah.
You got little people. You got, you got
Face
everything.
Face eater.
Face
Face
eater.
eaters.
Yeah.
Face eater.
Well, to open your mind to Sasquatch, and if you know or you believe, even if you want to believe, I haven't had an encounter of my own. I don't wish for it. I don't necessarily want it to happen, but I am going to research or investigate and see what happens. But if you open your mind to Sasquatch, your mind has to somewhat be open to other things as well. But I can't wrap my head around Dogman. I just can't do it yet because I am so novice yet with Sasquatch. I tend to follow and do my research on the Lewis and Clark expedition journals and Native American Indian accounts. That and the fact that Carrie and I have talked about this intently. I believe him. That man was terrified, and he's a big dude. He's not afraid of anything. Okay, sold everything he had hunting wise. He was ego driven. He back then. He's got deer heads all over the wall, and he never set foot back in the woods. Now, what does that to a man? Okay, not to mention we meet a good friend named Jody. I call him Wade Capital. This is where we have our research area. This is the sweetest, nicest person that you ever want to meet. And when you listen to him, there are certain adjectives that he uses. There's certain inflection that he uses. There's certain micro idiosyncrasies that you could only know if something like that happened. If somebody is making something up, they don't put in these little idiosyncrasies that pop up here and there that make people think. So I take stock in people. I say that all the time because today's world, the majority of the human race are zombies and robots. It's sad. I don't like where it's going. I can't do much about it. I try to stay and be an honest person to myself. But when you come across people like yourself who have ethics, reliability, dependability, trust, honesty, good character, other people that know you that can attest to being a good person, how in the hell can you not believe someone like that? I
Oh,
can't tell that person, that's crazy.
yeah,
I've never seen one.
yeah, you're right about that because, I've always been the person, if I've heard some throughout before to my encounter, people have told me certain things that they've seen, whether it's never a Sasquatch, but like ghosts, stuff like that, or, demons or whatever, and crazy things. And I don't dismiss that because
you know what you saw, though. You know what you saw.
Yeah. Well, prior to that, I've always been an open-minded guy. I told you earlier on, I believe in stuff like that. I mean, not Frankenstein or vampires, but the shit, the stuff in the woods that's there. I've seen it. I know it's there. So if someone says they saw Dogman, so I'm not going to discredit someone who says they've seen a dog man because I've never seen one. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And they probably are out there. It ain't my thing. But when you get into the looking and investigating these things, there's everything out there. I don't put anything past anybody.
Well, what gave me the goosebumps a little bit is when you just stated that you had yourselves a shot, you calmed down, and you told your love, you said we saw Bigfoot, and let's say if somebody wasn't there, think of what their response might be. But she looked at you and said, "Yeah, I think we did,"
Yeah,
or
right.
we did," or whatever she said. That's two people at the same time. Very rarely does that happen. Either a group of people or two people or more have the exact same encounter.
That makes it unique, I guess, because you're right. Because it's always one person with this or that sighting from what I have recalled from just armchair quarterbacking, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, you're right about that.
Did you and your gal, did y'all talk a little bit more in depth about it?
Oh yeah, that's all we did. When we got home, it was she told me she wanted me to go report it to the DNR that day. She was shaken up. I was unnerved. And I'm like, you know what? You want to stay or go home? Because I'm out. I did at the time. I didn't want to. I didn't want to report it. I just said no. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Now, in retrospect and looking back, 12 months later, or yeah, I wish I would have.
Right.
Because now what I know today, I didn't know 12 months ago. So I
Yeah.
feel kind of like I should have. And I'm not gonna. And if I go back, and I guess you can report at any time because I am going back in the next couple months before summer's out, and maybe I will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in
Did
fact,
you?
what I would like to do is, and I'm not going to be embarrassed. I may go back to the area, and I may just pick some brains. I might take a week off and go down and just talk to the city folk because I heard a lot of people. You bring something up, you might get 1 out of 10 that
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
"Hey, you know what? I've seen something like that."
Yeah. Go to a local diner up there. Hey,
Because
I wish I lived closer. I'd go with you, brother.
no, that'd be sweet. But the thing too about that is, I did that YouTube videos. I just when I threw it out there a long time ago, back when it happened, and there are people that I've been in touch with that live in the area that have seen the same things I've seen. There's
Okay.
like 3 people, which is a starting point for me.
Yes.
In fact, one guy told me he knew exactly where I was. He said, "Was there like an old red barn?" Like with by it was weird because it was like a big abandoned barn, like it was just sitting there in that area. I said, "Well, yeah." He goes, "That used to be an abandoned ice rink or something." I'm like, "Wow, yeah." So he knew what I was saying was totally legitimate. He's like, "Man, I seen something like that off that Mitchell Creek when he was out there fishing." I'm like, "No kidding."
That is so good, and I know that feels good. A little bit of validation for you and your girlfriend. That you're not nuts.
Yeah, well, I know I ain't nuts, but
I know.
I thought I was going nuts for like 70 seconds, you know?
Yeah, I can imagine, man. Um, so, I know you're busy. You're saying that you may actually go back. What's the main drive to want to go back? No,
Just,
knowing that you're not like a hardcore researcher to go do that. Why would you like to
just for closure, dude, it's like
do that?
that's the last place I spent with her. And for me and her personally to release her from my I have to go on, you know.
Yeah.
And I just want to go and check it out and look at the site, just not to find it, just to kind of look into it. I mean, I do plan on being a boots on the ground type of dude once I get done with my work and so on, because I want to be honest with you. That's cool. I like I
Yeah.
said, that's why I said that earlier in the show that I like that sort of thing. But life goes on, you just don't do that. Now that you've seen it,
No.
I've been busted to get out of here and do it, but I've had some certain things happen. My friends passed away. I'm doing this pool thing. I'm doing this and that. I own a bar, I run that. So when I sell that, I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is, Scott, I'm going to open a Bigfoot Michigan bar up north.
Yes. Do that, man. We'll get a big neon sign. I'll design the graphic for you, and you could bring that to
It's going to say knowers, believers only. I'm ready to start to picture it.
I think it'll be great. I love the idea. And then eventually, remember, we talked, you could actually have like a Bigfoot podcast out the bar in the back.
Chris, I was thinking about doing a show from there in a couple weeks. What I was doing, though, man, hey, listen, I was writing this flyer, I'm putting this together, and it's a Bigfoot survey. You give me an idea, and it's yes or no, do you believe? And so I'm getting all this stuff back, and I'm going through them. I got like 50 responses. 15 yeses and like 40 no's.
But that's good, though. Did you ever think 15
so
from
I'll have like a big round table at the bar and give everyone shots and get them to unwind and get and loosen up,
I think that's a great idea. It's kind of like taking Wine Wednesday to the next level with Bigfoot Michigan Rob's Research Roundup or Rob's Research Roundtable at what's the name of your bar?
My bar is called the DA Scoreboard. DA apostrophe Scoreboard.
Scoreboard every Wednesday, every third, or whatever. Yeah, just start something. People like a little bit of change, a little bit of controversy every once in a while. And just like your idea of like headed into that town.
Yeah.
And talking to a few folks at a diner or something and just seeing, hey.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a people person. I dig that. Years ago, I wanted to be a journalist, but I didn't do that either. So I worked for Ford's for 20 years and bought a bar. Who the hell, go figure.
Well, I always said if I had a few lives, one of them was I'd love to be an actor or a director. I'd love to be a writer.
Oh, me and you are the same, dude. Because I wanted to be an actor or a director.
Yeah. Or
my mom said I wasn't as good as looking as Charlton Heston or some dude like that. Yeah, he was a Planet of the Apes, wasn't he?
You remind me. Do you know who the actor Michael Chiklis is? Yes.
Yeah,
Dude, you look just like Chiklis, man.
They say I look like the dude from Pawn Stars.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, he does.
No.
Yes,
he looks like Chiklis, man. And Chiklis was a.
Hey, man, I should go Hollywood. Maybe I'll go Hollywood. What?
You know who he could play? Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Could be Inspector Gadget and Michael Chiklis are on the loose for Sasquatch in northern Michigan. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'll show Sasquatch the shield.
Yeah. Read it and weep, Sasquatch.
Yeah. I'm arresting you and taking you back in town.
Well, Michael Chiklis also played the Thing in what's that no,
that's far. I don't look like the Thing.
Fantastic Four, the movie,
the Avengers or something.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been so fun. Let's see if we got any questions. Does anybody in the chat? If you have some questions for Rob, now this is a good dude, man, just out there with his gal, going fishing. Rocks are being thrown at him. He's like kind of doubting his chick, like, what is going on? What are you talking about? Then he sees one rock. Then the thing appears and screams at him to the point they're only 80 feet away. He was able to see facial features, grayish, hair that draped, the teeth that look like that came down. It roars and screams.
Its face changes.
Yeah. So does anybody have any questions for Rob? Let's see. That's what you do. You go out and you just hike around and be in the environment. They will find you. Yes, Brandon Blackfire. That's kind of the going thing that we're getting from a lot of researchers is that, if they're in the area, they'll find you. We are talking with a good friend that we're just gonna call
X.
yeah, Researcher X. He's a good guy. He's from we've been kind of vetting each other because you never know who you're talking to. Is someone nuts on the other end? They don't know about us. No, this is something that I did with Mike Woolley, and we created a very good trust factor. And we would literally call each other every week, 2 and 3 times a week. And this is I'm starting a relationship with this researcher X. He's from North Shreveport. This guy is 20 years backcountry native survivalist, wilderness survivalist. So he's like the modern day Grizzly Adams, right? He loves that stuff. There's a group of guys that he gets with. They go out for 3 days a week with nothing but a backpack, a bedroll, and everything that they need. This guy has been following a family group, specifically a red female with blonde split ends that he has seen since 2003. 15 encounters. So, we're listening to Rob here. He's telling us what he sees. And this guy who got in touch with us because he saw our show, just kind of like Rob did or anybody else did, how we meet. And he's like, look, I don't want limelight. I got a bunch of guys in my wilderness survival group. And this dude's serious. He's like got the American Medical Association certifications. He's like, I want to remain anonymous, but I would like to tell folks I don't need this in my life. So this is somebody who's been doing this for 20 years, and for the last, what did he say, like 5 years?
Yeah, I think so.
The last 5 years, he sees these things. He says he's confident that he could go out and see these things. He told me that he knows that the female is injured because its track is missing a toe. Occasionally, there'll be a toe in the track. He's seen where it's drug a deer. So it's these uh, again, like with Rob's encounter, the things that he mentions, how things happen, these idiosyncrasies in the stories of good people who are honest that you cannot just blow off or just say it's a bunch of crap. So it reiterates a lot of what Rob's going through too. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, they want to know what year did this happen with Rob?
This is last June.
It's early. Man, that's last year. That's new.
Yep.
Now this thing, fur or hair, was like all black.
No, I had mentioned it was brownish red.
It was the brownish red.
Brownish red with some gray. And the front was gray. His face was gray. The thing too, the face was, as I said, it was
like the Down syndrome, right?
And it was gray, kind of flaky looking. I mean, I bring that up now because I've been really thinking hard with my mind. It had it looked like an older, probably older, but dude, when they made that, open the mouth and dude did the blow screen, it went like a nutty looking creature. I say a demon, it's not a demon. It's what it looked like. Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, did you get that rush of like that lightning feeling where it scares your heart, like you feel your heart just kind of.
I was taken aback. I swallowed my Adam's apple. It was just like, ugh. And there's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Now we're on the subject of changing back. I had to talk to Duke Sullivan too, and he was like, and I'm talking, well, and he had a hypothesis on this, which I kind of did too, because Sasquatch or Bigfoot, they're creatures as far as we kind of think. Not that we're I'm not claiming a fact. They don't like to be seen, right? This thing, man, exposed itself.
Yeah.
As daylight, man. And so I was saying, yeah, because when I started looking into the subject, it was like, why? Yeah, that's when he had mentioned the Gugwe. Now he thinks it was a Bigfoot. He thinks it's one of those. He thinks, and I was thinking, he thought one of two things. It was a rogue, because a lot of times if they're in a family unit, they will, the ones that are kind of misbehaving or disobedient, they'll get kicked out of their clan or their tribe.
Right.
And they're more reckless. They're not as reluctant to show themselves. They don't really give a care, you know. So that was one of the theories, which I kind of think because, yeah, you know, I don't think that a Sasquatch that had his family close by would make his presence known simply because he doesn't want a human to know that they're around. So I'm thinking this thing might have been like a predatorial type of one, and just say a rogue. I guess that's the best way to maybe explain it, you know. Or maybe he was. Well, that's my opinion, anyway.
Well, hey, yes. Thinking upon that, what Duke was saying, and what I'm thinking now is who surprised who. Okay, the question is this. Just listen. Um, Did you guys run the boat and then stop the boat and anchor? Did you just stop and the waves were bringing you in? Do you think it was there when you were running the boat and stopped where you stopped? Or do you think you were there, stopped the boat, and then maybe it came out because you were there? Or was it already there and you guys were the ones that kind of startled it too, and it stayed?
Yeah, good question. It was like when I got to this section, it was a beautiful section of the base, so I had cut the motor and just kind of drifted parallel to shore, and the water was calm and serene. And so, obviously, you're going to a certain direction. When you stop, you're gonna drift the way you stop. And
How
then,
long were you drifting when you cut the engine?
oh,
From the time that you saw it.
um, it would have been if I put a time on it under 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's a long time.
But we're drifting lightly. Yeah, and you got to remember too. At the time, I put her lures on. I'm doing mine, and then right after, and maybe a couple minutes after I stopped, this is when she heard the first splash, and I said, "Hey, it's fish jumping." You know what I mean? And it's like,
Right. And this is a point too where you cut the engine, and as the captain of the boat, what are you doing? You stop the engine. You go up. You're talking to her. Okay, we're gonna get the fishing poles. You might grab the tackle box. You're getting your stuff. You're not really stopping and just going, okay, let me survey and do a
right, yeah,
of the area first
you know,
before I start doing what I normally do when I cut the engine. I want to fish. So
excellent. Yeah, good point. Because I just stopped and said, "This is it. Let's drift the boat. I don't care where we drift to. I'm not paying attention to time or anything. I'm having a good time, and it's beautiful scenery." And boom, So
my hypothesis is I think he was there, already there when y'all came up. That's just my thoughts on it. Because why would he see a boat and then come out and expose himself?
Well, here's another thing too. That's a good point because it's like when she told me, Cindy, it's a reporter. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, how many people have driven past here time and time again, and I don't know if they've reported or seen anything. I mean, there's been a report in Wexford, Michigan, which is like maybe 10 miles from here, and that's it. But you would think, and I specifically looked up Lake Cadillac, Lake Mitchell.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, I found dogman reports, but like I told you. and I found more Sasquatch reports further north. And then also, if you look, Michigan is like this, and we've got sightings like in the thumb, but Cadillac is toward the pinky finger, you know, on your hand. Is by Lake Michigan, you know.
Right. Well, hey, we're coming up on 1 hour, and that's kind of what we're wanting to stick to. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we?
I have a question for Rob.
Yeah, sure.
Rob,
right
how big do you think he was?
I'm thinking at least 9 feet because I do remember the height of about 9. But what really got me is when he extended his arms from his side out. That had been like 10 feet. So, I mean, it was huge. That was like longer than him. So if you go like that,
yeah,
hey, you're talking 10, 11 feet creature. I'm saying 9 just to say 9, but you know what? He had a 10-foot wingspan, 9 to 10-foot wingspan.
Wow, that's a big dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could talk for hours on this too. There's so many things, but you know, it's just crazy.
I know. I'm trying to check real quick in the chat to see if anybody's got anything. A lot of the people in the chat, I mean, I know you know a lot of these people. Lady in the Woods,
Matt,
Chev, Matt, Mad Matt, my man.
Hey,
Mad
everybody.
Matt. Yeah, they're all here. We have about, I don't know, what, 40 people there.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. Yank is in there.
Yep, Yank. Good old Yank.
A new friend of mine named Brandon Blackfriar is there. Thanks. Chev's in there. The tall one. Who else? Crow Creek Cryptids. He sent me a good comment. Thanks for being in here, brother. Yeah. Ann Burr is in there. Doug. Who else is in there?
Rory.
Flower Child Buds. Look, Flower Child, don't worry about what anybody else says. Okay, I saw in a post in the Awesome Possum chat you were worried about what other people say. Hey, stand tall and be confident, girl. Okay? Hang out with the people that care and the people that have a good soul, and you don't worry about anybody else. Okay? Pappy Two Bears, thank you for joining us.
GGG was in here. Grandma's Green.
Yeah, GGG.
Nelson R. Max Powers.
Max Powers County. How do you say that name? Sierra. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I am so thankful that I really got to meet you, Rob, in person.
Me too, Scott.
I'm gonna call you the thing now from Michael Chiklis's
Corn store.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I don't know
No,
about that.
I'm kidding, dude. I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, I'm not the most handsome guy, but you know, I pull my weight.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you so much for joining us. And hey, we might do this again if you'd like to come on again, and we like dive into a certain aspect and kind of just stay on a particular topic. I'd love for you.
Yeah, like I said about this. Yeah, like I was saying, I was looking at I'm fascinated with obviously Bigfoot, but I'm looking into like I've been reading this book.
Yeah,
about mountain giants. You know, I mean that's like crazy. Mountain giants.
Yeah, who
you
writes
guys
that?
out?
You know,
Gary Wayne, Genesis 6. I've been reading that. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, I try to.
Is it believable? I tell you what, it's boring, but it's crazy. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Does he talk about the Nephilim and
Nephilim, right? Fallen angels, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm.
No, you know what the funny thing is though? I never knew about this. When I started looking at a Bigfoot, these chapters of everything else opens up. And I told you my mind is inquisitive, and I dig all of it. First and foremost, I'm a Bigfoot guy, you know, and but the other things just kind of, I think there's a connection to everything, in my opinion. That's I'll leave it like that, you know.
It's my personal opinion. I think you're a great guy.
You're awesome, Rob.
I don't think you're marked. I don't think your favorite gal was marked. I wanted you to know if you ever want to talk, and just BS, give us a call. And we'll do this again. I'll help you. Or just chat, man. It's good to chat. It's good to chat
I like
with
it.
people who've got your back. Yeah, we're miles away, we're states away, but man, if I was there, I'd come over and cook ribs with you and bring.
I was telling Christy, I'll come down and cook her some ribs. I'll bring it up. I'll bring come down and have a barbecue.
Yeah, come on, Rob.
Next spring, you need to come down in the spring so we can do some crawfish, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I hear that. That'd be all good.
Yeah.
Bring you to eat some Southern food.
Oh, yeah. I love me some Southern food.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Oh yeah.
Look, being from New Orleans, if you go anywhere else, I don't care if you're going to the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, you're going over to Houston, you're going up to Little Rock. If you go away, the people from New Orleans will drive into a town and go, "This is all they have to eat here? Weston Sizzlin, Kenny Rogers, and the China Syndrome.
Kenny Rogers.
Chinese. It's just
we got a Kenny Rogers chicken around. That ain't nothing.
We have food here. We are so spoiled. The food is divine. That's why we have one of the massive, highest obesity rates of any state. It's because we eat so well here.
Hey, look, Chef said he'll bring the beer.
Yeah, bring
right,
the beer, you know? That's fine. Well, hey guys, this is
Matt, I'm not cooking.
Yeah.
No.
She's not cooking. We going out.
We all get together and we cook. Christy can cook, but Christy can't do certain things. But that's okay.
It's all right. We all have a certain skill set. Everybody gets together as a group. Those skill sets build to one common goal, and that's what it's about, working together.
Yank said he's hungry.
I'm getting hungry too. I gotta go back to work and get some food then. Shit. Excuse me. Hey, I want to say a quick shot. I see Matt in there and Dee, Lady in the Woods. Say all you guys. Love all you guys. Thanks for joining us, Christy. It was a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time with you, Rob. You're awesome.
I had an awesome time. So hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for me, Scott, and Christy Sci-Fi, and our awesome guest all the way from Michigan to tell us his really kind of a double encounter story, because himself and his favorite gal there, his love, also saw this too. They went through the same thing together. So prayers for Rob to heal that soul as he goes forward. And hell, if he decides to go and get some closure there, we'll have Rob back on and just chat with Rob and talk about the closure issue, where he went, if he went to that exact spot on the shore where the creature appeared, if he found that, what happened there, stuff like that. I think that would be a great show, Rob.
All right.
We're talking about blue tip crabs.
Boiled blue tip crabs. Yeah, man. Prayers. Okay, Rob, thank you so much. Just hang on there for a minute, Rob.
Yeah.
And thank everybody for joining us.
Yes.
We appreciate all of y'all.
Thank you for our fans or our subs or whatever you like. Friends. Our friends for coming. Right. Friends. Thanks for coming and give us some pity. No, we will see you guys on the next one. So for Bigfoot Explorer, y'all stay good, hang in there, and hey, remember to be nice to people. Okay, y'all take care and cheers. Bye-bye.
All right.